In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make materials that change their texture depending on where they are in the world. I want to give a big shout out to Gatos Guz for showing this to me originally, and I wanted to make a tutorial to be able to show it to everyone else that wanted to do this. So the first thing that you'll want to do is make a material. We will just call this poster master. And when you open that up, the main thing that you want to create here is you want the object position, this node, and then the absolute node. Put that into an fmod, which what the fmod does is it essentially wraps, it truncates a value to its closest. If the number is higher than the second input, so if this number is higher than this one, it'll start counting again from 0. And that's the main component which will drive the looping of the different posters. Then you'll want a parameter. We can just call this number. You can call it whatever you want. This will be the number of different pictures or textures that you have. So in mine, I had 12. In this example, I'm probably going to only do 3. So I'll just put this here and put 3. And obviously you can change this as you please. The next thing that you'll want is a static switch parameter, this is optional, but it is very helpful. We'll call this debug preview. This will allow you to preview any one of the posters at any time without having to cycle through all of them. We will make another parameter. We will call this debug number. Plug this into true, and you'll want it to be false by default. So you want the debug to be off by default. The next thing that you will want, and the most important piece, is you want the switch node. That is going to be what's controlling all of the different textures. And then after that, you will plug this into your thing, and part 1 is finished. So part 2 is you'll want to actually add your textures. I just threw in 3 random ones from my files. We've got a spaceman, my logo, and then a dog. We will go back into our material, grab these 3 textures, and slap them in. Now the next part, it involves reroute nodes, which if you haven't used those before, they're very simple. All you do is you go over to this and you make a reroute. Add named reroute declaration node. And what that does is essentially what I like to call it, it's a teleporter for your nodes. So we'll call this poster 1. And we will make another one. We will duplicate that. We will open up our details panel and we will call this poster 2. We can change the color if we'd like, just for organization's sake. And finally, we will take this one and we will call it poster 3. So now that we have those, we go over here to our switch. We have 1, 2, 3 different options. And when we take these, we add the node. So when you add a new reroute node, they will appear at the top. You click this one right here. Boom. Click this one, connect it up, and connect this one, connect it up. Now you'll see the error will go away. You'll see it start to appear, and when you apply it, you will add a plane or any material that this is for. You will apply the texture, just drag it on, and it'll work as intended. You can obviously add more. The one that I had, I'll throw it up on screen, that had 12, I believe. And you might be wondering, well, why this one should be transparent, right? And you're right. So I'll show you how to do that one. So really the only extra thing that you will need to do is if you want transparency in your pictures like I did with mine, because they are different aspect ratios, what you will need to do is you'll have to make different reroute nodes. So I'll name this one P1 alpha for the alpha of the texture. Copy that, put that in, copy this, P2 alpha, P3 alpha. So even though only one of these textures is transparent, they all need to have a alpha because when we cycle through, then they will get out of order. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to copy this section without the reroute nodes and paste it down and connect this into the opacity. And then obviously change it to translucent. And then what we have to do is take the alphas for all three and plug them in as so. So when we compile and make sure that both of these numbers match, make sure everything matches, because if you get them out of order, it won't look right. So now when we go back in, he's now transparent and the rest of them still look normal. An important takeaway is when you're using these reroute nodes, it's essentially taking this, storing the texture in here, and then inputting it over here. So you could, in theory, do this and just connect it up directly, but these are helpful for staying organized and staying clutter-free. You can put these way off in the distance and they will still work because it is essentially, these are the same thing and they're putting this in and then it's spitting it back out again. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is you need to make sure that these are in the correct order every single time. So they need to match up with what you have over here. If this is all sorts of messed up, you've got 1 going into 3, 2 going into 1, 3 going into 2, and these are all messed up. They're not in a perfect 1, 2, 3 order. They don't line up with these, then you're gonna get some really strange results. So you have to make sure that texture 1 goes into 1 and it matches alpha 1.